Hi, I'm Euge Valovirta, and this one is about Wave's StudioVerse plugin. Alright, this is a song from my forthcoming album that I just finished the mixing. So I've been recording the mixing kind of same time, and then, as soon as I get the vocals from the different vocalists, I'll finish the mix and mix the vocals. And this is the first time I've used this StudioRack plugin, which is great because I usually have certain effect plugin changes. They are pretty much the same, from mix to mix. And what I have here is my basic EV stereo vocal bus, and I have several plugins there. And this is really cool that, when I start to mix, I don't need to add, many plugins, find them, and so on. So I just add this StudioRack, and here is my, main stereo vocal bus. So I have several vocals here: main, tupla, which means double. And then there's some altar boy affected vocals, which are really low, some whisperings and some extra stems. Basically, it's the main and the double that are going all the time. And then I have a second bus, because there's kind of this call and response thing in the chorus. You'll hear soon. I have the exact same StudioRack here, and then I've added some RVox to the individual channels and a little bit, tune them and remove some sibilances. It's the same like on this bus too. So, but most of the stuff happens in the stereo bus. So this is really cool. They have my vocal writer. Then I have, this is a Solid State Logic's vocal strip. CLA 76 compressor, CLA 2A, I'm not using it now, but it's there. Sibilants to remove SCs, I remove them the first thing, but then when I'm adding some top end and compressing, I'm just kind of, making sure that there's, nothing left. And then my reverb and delay plugin, CLA Epic, and then the final thing is the limiter. And there's these quick controls or macro controls which you can assign to do certain things. Like this top gain, this affects this gain on the higher frequency, and the spank, it affects the input and the attack of the CLA 76, and also it affects the limiter's threshold. And then the smooth, that you see the red cross on these Waves plugins, that affects the peak reduction. So if I'm sometimes I'm using the CLA 2A after the LA 76 just to maybe smooth things out, but this is aggressive rock and metal, so I didn't want to do that. And then the wet controls the dry-wet, relationship on the CLA Epic. So I don't necessarily even need to open these plugins. I can do many things here. So if we play a little bit of this song, so I'm gonna show you what this does.
My chest high up in flames. I'm sick of all these goddamn games, and navigating hard is prone to turn. Live or die, it's time to burn. Reach out and scream for me. Beneath the shadows still remain. This time I'm not the same. A glass was broken, weak we are. So wrong and so insane. Beneath the shadows still remain. This time I'm not the same. So was broken winter. A lack of comment, too much hate. Try to change, but
So instead of a big row of plugins, I'll have all under one plugin, and then I can control the most important things that I usually control. If I want more top gain, and this controls the top frequency, it shows my frequencies and gains. This controls, like I show you, the spank, the CLA 76, and the limiter. The smooth controls the CLA 2A de-essing, it controls the amount of de-essing. You know, it does with the sibilance does, because you need to be careful with de-essing. If you do it too much, the vocalists start to sound like lisping. That's not good. I'd rather have a little bit sharp S's than lispy S's. And the wet controls the amount of the balance between, you know, fully wet and so on. So I'm using, unlike many others, pretty much always my vocal, you know, delays and reverbs as an insert track. This is a great plugin, and the wet control. There's 4 reverbs and four delays, so I haven't really found a need to have them on separate track. With guitars and stuff, I do that. And then there's something left from somewhere, and you know, you can, I think this is a free plugin, if not mistaken. I'll put a Waves links into there so you can see. But what is cool, because now the matter that created, I guess, a bit of a debate and discussion. You know, at first it was that you can't buy anymore. You need to kind of rent the plugins, but now you can rent the plugins all, like everything, or then you can buy just what you want. And this StudioVerse is pretty cool, because there's a lot of plugins by really famous mixers. Like, let's say my recent one, I just checked what is the CLA, stereo vocal processing, and it was, well, he had a CLA 76, and I think he used a de-esser, and then he had the same limiter that I'm using. So you can download these here if you want to use, you know, CLA's vocal stereo bus chain, and then you can scan, search by audio. So you play your audio, then the artificial intelligence suggests you a plugin change for that. I tried it just for fun, but yeah, it was, it could work, but I kind of like to do things by myself. But it's sometimes cool. Actually, I think I found this limiter from that, because I had used a different limiter, and it just suggested me that limiter. I was like, wow, this is actually a pretty cool limiter. I don't think I ever used that. So I started to use that limiter. So you can get great tips here, and like you can search like whatever. There's many cool plugin, you know, changed by, like I said, by a really, really famous mixing engineers. And what is great with this one, you know, it works with other plugins as well. Because here's your Waves plugins, but then I have all the, you know, if you have your plugins as VST3s, so Logic uses AU or whatever, but when I buy a plugin or whatever, I always download all the possibilities, because this, if I wouldn't have had these as VST3s, it wouldn't show. So I can add whatever, not just the Waves plugin here, which is really good. And I have an affiliate link to Waves, so if you're interested to check this out, buy some of these plugins, or go to the, you know, subscription thing where you can, think there's a couple of other options. You know, you can have them all plugins or just a certain amount. If you use my link in the description below, it's much appreciated, because I will get a small commission from whatever you decide to buy or rent from Waves. It helps me and obviously my channel. So it was a pretty quick video, but like I said, I just started to use these, and I found this to be really practical, really handy. Before I had a long chain of plugins and needed to always open, you know, each of them individual, but now, because and you can assign them by yourself. You just MIDI learn, and you know, you can assign them to do pretty much everything. Like this is a CLA Epic, CLA 76, you can, whatever you choose. So these are what I usually mostly do with vocals, maybe adding more top and then check out the frequency, more compression, more spank, less spank, more CLA 2A. This one I don't use it at all, more less de-essing, more wet, more dry sound. So I don't need to really even open the plugins. The vocal writer I haven't set, because this this is pretty much like that always. It just keeps everything in this range.
But it's too late. Maybe next life this rings true, but I don't owe jack shit to you. Take one last glance and I'll be gone. I cannot help, I'm out of job. Betting you to sleep brings on my doom. Choke me dead, I was your fool. Reach out and scream for me. Beneath the child still remains. This time I'm not dead.
Cool. So hey, Waves StudioRack, strong recommendation. This is great, and hopefully you found this interesting and informative. And yeah, the album will be out most likely later this year or early 24. I'll put the links in the description below, my affiliate link and stuff. So if you're interested in check this out. Hey, thanks for watching. All the best. See you on the next one. Bye.